Hey gang, day 3 of first event, Transgender Conference 2020 in Boston, Massachusetts. Here's the recap and a little overview. Would you knock it off? You gotta stop it. You wanna play with that, come up here. Just come up here, come on. Okay, so always trying to hog the show. No, you're making too much noise. Now, go over there and sit down. Okay, day 3. This is incredible, just incredible. Now, there were many seminars, workshops, and discussions every day of first event. All right, all things transgender, okay? On Saturday, there were 56 different seminars, discussions, and workshops going on. There's no way you're gonna see them all. So you pick and choose. I mean, but they're some of them were for trans males, some of them were for trans females, some of them were for non-binary folks, some of them are tips and tricks on makeup from Sephora, and they were all over that. They were all over that convention, that conference. The girls from Sephora. They were lovely young ladies. They were just super helpful. Just wanting to help everyone out. And the makeovers, they were doing free makeovers for people, free personal makeovers. It was just they really poured out for us. And they come to other conferences too. They're at other conferences. There'll be other Sephora shops sending girls to other conferences as well. So it was just great. The fellowship in these conferences, the friends you make, right? Don't you like making friends? Yeah, I like making friends. He likes making friends too. Sometimes, right? As long as they're not messing with our farm, right? Okay. It's my best friend. Right here. He would do anything for me, I think. I digress. The conferences are filled with so much fellowship, and you can make so many great friends, as I did, and you can help each other and support each other and promote each other and just have a good time. Big parties, gotta warn you, if you're thinking about going to one of these things. They also have Friends of Bill W., for those of you who know who I'm talking about. They also have those kind of meetings every day. And there's a lot of support there for that. But if you're a party girl, you couldn't go to a safer place to party. It was very safe. Of course, I mentioned that I had a small role on a security group walking around. I walked around the convention when I wasn't attending a seminar or giving one. I walked around the convention for probably 6 to 7 hours a day, 8 hours a day maybe. Mostly at night from 4 or 5 o'clock at night until 12:31 in the morning, something like that. And then a little bit of stuff in the day. I guess most of the action was occurring during the day, but I didn't get in on any of it, so I'm okay with that. It was uneventful. No one's really in any danger, but that's the purpose of the visible security people. Would you quit it? Anything to get in my camera. I told you guys, never do films with animals. They will completely upstage you. And that one will do anything. I should have taken the water away for 10 minutes. She just got a drink. Oh, she's killing me. Saturday night, they had a gala ball that was a gala dinner, I should say, that was followed by dancing with a DJ in a very large hall room or ballroom. They had jazz musicians playing in another venue where you could go and sit and listen to them. And they were trans, I believe they were trans. I didn't get in there. I was walking around. I didn't really get to go sit down much. I didn't sit down much that night after dinner. I did sit down for dinner, and my chicken was on point. And the salad was spectacular. I'm a big salad girl too, believe it or not. I know. I'm not as skinny as a lot of salad girls are, but I do like salads. I tend to put a lot of meat in my salads. That's probably where I screw up. After dinner, And before dancing, we had a transgender panel sit up on stage and answer questions that it was set up. It was a little bit rehearsed maybe. They kind of had a list of questions all laid out to ask them, and they were very good questions. Like when did you first realize you were trans? And what are you doing with your life going forward? And how has it affected you? And support questions and things like that about your supports, your families and whatnot. And that it was a group of several trans people, males and females, headlined, of course, by two of probably the most prominent, most well-known trans people on the stage were Carmen Carrera, and we know her from 2011 RuPaul's Drag Race, where she was eliminated, and possibly because she's not a drag queen. I don't know. Not that I'm dissing drag queens, but she has gone on to become an actress and a model and an advocate for our community. And I don't think you're going to find a better looking one anywhere. And extremely gracious. She stood and posed in those heels for pictures with anybody that wanted a picture for over an hour. And I know she was posing for pictures as she moved about the conference and other venues as well. I saw her later attending the comedy show that they had after the banquet and after the panel discussion. They had a comedy show with several different comedians, trans comedians. Got up and I got to watch one of them. One of them was very funny, but I couldn't stay very long. I had to keep moving. I get like a mother hen, when they let me do this, and I want to thank them. I thanked them already, but I want to thank them all again. Everybody at First Event for allowing me the opportunity to help in my small way that I could help, because that's what we all got to do. If everybody in the community gives this much for the community or to help the community in some way, as long as it doesn't hurt you, as long as it doesn't out you, unnecessarily, as long as it is in your best interests, then that's what you should do. We should all try to help out, because that's what we need, and it's going to push our family forward. Okay, we're just going to keep rolling like we have been. We're doing good so far. We had the comedy show, and also the other girl on the panel in the discussion was Samantha Lux, who is a adorable young lady, a young trans lady, and she's a YouTuber, and I'm so jealous. Maybe someday I'll be as talented and I don't know. I'm sure I'll never be as beautiful, but maybe someday I can garner some of the attention that she has. She has over 211,000 subscribers on YouTube and over 50,000 Instagram followers. She's up and coming. She's an influencer for sure, and just adorable. She took a picture with me. I haven't posted it yet on Instagram, but that'll probably boost my followers as the one I posted with me and Carmen Carrera. Thanks, ladies, in advance. Okay, thanks, Carmen, and thank you, Samantha, in advance. I posted some other pictures on Instagram of folks that I met there, just to look at the pictures and see the happiness in their eyes. These young girls I met, these young trans girls I met, just to see their happiness in their eyes, it made me cry, from just being sentimental as I am. It just makes me want to cry when I see those pictures. And I'm so happy for them. I'm not envious. I'm happy because I am the woman that I am because of my experiences, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. It was just so cool to see the happiness, because I'm standing in front of them taking a selfie, and then I get to see their faces behind me later. Really cool. Let me see what else went on. I gotta say, I worked with they had some private security people there from a private security company. They were wonderful, very accepting, very respectful, really awesome. I spent a lot of my evenings with them as we passed in the hallways or whatever, talking about this person or that person, persons of interest that we were trying to keep an eye on, that turned out to be, completely no issues whatsoever. Uh, food in the hotel at the Park Plaza in Boston was not popular to a lot of people. I saw a lot of people eating it, and I could never. And I love food, as you guys all know from my food critic videos. I couldn't finish any of my meals. I couldn't get it all down. There was something about it, the grease, the oil. I don't know what it was. It was just something about the food. I couldn't get it down. And then later, I spoke to one or two other individuals who had become ill. But now there were 1,450 attendees at this banquet. In all fairness to the restaurant, some of them are going to get ill for whatever reason in the 4 days they're at this event. And maybe it's the food, maybe it's not, but they seem to think that it might have been the food. They're not doctors. I'm not a doctor, but you know, I take their experience and I share it with my own, and I kind of leaning on their self-diagnosis as maybe being accurate. Hey, I call them as I see them. There were a couple of restaurants close by. There was an Irish pub down the street that had excellent food. There was a B.F. Chang's. I guess that's Japanese or Chinese food. I don't know, but it's a chain. It was right down the street, like a half a block or a block down the street. And a lot of the attendees were going there. You know, it's perfectly safe to be out on the street for anybody. There's no issues. Boston seems like it's a pretty trans-friendly town. I discussed that with the security guys that I was, talking to, and, they didn't seem to really, they were interested in the number of people at the event, and they were curious about how many events went on in the country. But other than that, they didn't seem to have any issues at all. And one of them even complimented me on my hair. So, hey, they won me over. They had me at hello. That's about all I got. I can list some of the discussions that went on. But, of course, when you're saying goodbye to the folks that you're working with, and that gave me the opportunity to help, they of course, maybe out of kindness or just out of common decency and etiquette, say, hey, see you again next year. And whether they really wanted to or not is beside the point. They were very nice. They were very gracious people. And I flat out told the one, not if you're going to have this convention in this hotel, you're not going to see me again next year. But that's just me. I'm just the one with the YouTube channel that's talking about it and making it, you guys can all have your own experience. A lot, I probably talked to over 100 different people there, small talk and whatnot. And everyone was having fun. Everyone was having a good time. Overall, it was a good time. I just got to have more room in my hotel room. If you're into small hotel rooms, that doesn't bother you. This takes a lot of work. And I need to have my lighted mirror just right, and I need to have my vanity just right with all of my tools and all of my equipment and all my material that I need to put this thing together. And I couldn't do that in that little bathroom with that little mirror and that little sink. It just wasn't working out for me. I'm kind of a pansy, I guess. I can't rough it like that too often. I don't want to rough it anymore. I'm too old. I'm too tired. I work too hard, and I don't want to have to rough it. I don't want to feel like I was getting myself ready every night in a tent, in a campground. And okay, so enough of that. I'm probably setting myself up for some kind of a lawsuit here. Thank you all for paying attention. Thank you all for your support. I also just last night from home was on a podcast in Palm Springs, Florida at K-Gay Radio, which is an LGBT radio station in Palm Springs that broadcasts to the Coachella Valley. And they're going to let me know when that podcast is going to air. It was a telephone interview. They were going to let me know when that podcast is going to air, and I will, I'm going to jump on here and let you guys know. Love and peace to all, and let's just try to accept one another for who they are.